Hey guys, Maxmc55 here, and today we have a little bit of a different video today. We are going to be going through the Transformers fan film, Galvatrons Revenge. Now, I will say I was very excited for this film to drop 8 years ago. Why does the trailer look better than the final product? Anyways, this video is simply me going through the story of the film, not what happened behind the scenes. There's multiple posts and videos about how bad the supposed creators are, but this video is simply all about the script, as I am myself a filmmaker. So anyways, let's get into this. Okay, so we're going to go through a rundown of the story to get it out of the way. Then we will go and get into the cons, because as well, there's a lot of them, but surprisingly, there is some pros. There's like 2. So we open to space. Not very original, I will say. First, we see the Combaticons shooting at Springer and Hot's... Wait, he's called Rodimus? But he isn't a You know what, I don't care. Now, even though the Combaticons are 5-2, Onslaught is so egotistical that he stands in the middle of an open area and does nothing. While this is going on, we find out Hot Rod has dementia.
Remind me again how we got here?
Onslaught instructs Brawl and Vortex to push forward. Instead, they all stop shooting and Vortex laughs at himself. Brawl then throws a crate, doing nothing.
I've got better things to do tonight than die, Rodimus.
Springer says his iconic line from the '86 movie. This is a nice addition from the creators to remind viewers that there's a much better film they could be watching right now. Hot Rod catapults a flash grenade to the Combaticons. Springer slow motion runs to Onslaught, taking him out.
Stay down! The exit's straight ahead.
That's not going to keep them down for long.
I wish it did. The Combaticons, even though they were far behind, caught up to Springer and Rodimus Rod.
There they go.
The Combaticons talk instead of shooting. I can't tell who's talking, so I'm just gonna let this play out.
Whose idea was it to have some fun with the Autobots and not blow up their ship?
The ship was damaged. Why didn't you take them down when you had the chance?
Hot Rodimus then blows up the cons with PNGs. The Combaticons survived, unfortunately. Instead of shooting the engines of the Autobot ship, Blastoff puts a tracking device on it, even though Onslaught really wants them to not escape.
The Autobots must not be allowed to escape. Do not let the Autobots escape. Combaticons, do not let them escape. Combaticons, do not let them escape.
We found out the factory they were in were keeping the Heralds of Unicron in there. And no, I'm not calling them by their actual faction names, because that's stupid. We cut to Knockout and Ratchet where... Oh my god, what happened to Knockout? I mean, Knockout now has blue eyes, as in this film, is actually set after Predacons Rising. Keep that in mind for what will come next. Ratchet is finding out a way to commune with the Primes. Oh boy. Optimus Prime, Ultra Magnus, comes in with a new hand.
How does the new hand feel, Commander?
Like new, thanks to the 2 of you.
Now this could mean the creator didn't have access to the Claw Magnus model, but it said that Knockout was the one to do it, so it must be a Decepticon engineering thing that makes them build hands. Why couldn't Ratchet do that? Smokescreen comes in explaining that they reprogrammed the Vehicons, which they now call drones, which is weird. As Optimus is saying, is freedom is the right of all sentient beings. Unless you're a Vehicon. I guess in this film, Vehicons are not sentient. Ratchet seemingly forgets how factions work.
Yes, I noticed that too. Being an Autobot or a Decepticon is a matter of choice, and thus one's own spark aligns with the core of that spark. Once a spark has been corrupted by evil, the spark changes, and over time it becomes evident. Not just in their actions, but also in some of their physical attributes.
The music plays too loudly while Ratchet is talking to Smokescreen.
Smokescreen, please tell me you know where it is.
If the cons didn't take it, it should be exactly where Alpha Trion stashed it.
Ultra Magnus talks about how scarce Energon is at this time.
Energon remains scarce in these times. The ground bridge should be used sparingly.
Even though Cybertron literally got revived. Twice. We cut to the Heralds of Unicron awakening. They can't remember what happened, except for Galvatron. The movie shows animations from the real Transformers Prime show, while Galvatron monologues. The movie goes through the Heralds and uses PNGs to explain who they are. We awkwardly cut back to Hot Bottomus and Springer.
Rain upon the universe.
The Combaticons are following them via the tracking device.
Autobots must not be allowed to escape again.
We then find out that Transformers now have hyperspace? Even though this isn't Star Wars? Okay. Rod and the others fall to Earth and we cut to the caked up Fowler. The Autobots land on Earth, the humans show up, and in all honesty, they should have just opened fire and ended the film here. Fowler uses a ground bridge even though Sir Energon is supposedly low. The Combaticons then land on Earth in style. Again, the Autobots use a space bridge, even after what Magnus said.
Ground bridge should be used sparingly.
Rodimus weirdly flirts with RC.
There. Can't remember the last time I've seen a Fempa.
Get used to this. The Autobots scan new alt modes and we get a history lesson on triple changer technology. RC says humans weirdly.
Humans from.
And again, they open a goddamn ground bridge again. The Combaticons kill the PS2 humans. We cut to Smokescreen and Ratchet, who transform like they're in Roblox. Smokescreen presses a very convenient button. And yes, Ratchet finally says what he's here to do.
Some information on reclaiming Optimus Prime's spark back.
Which is funny. This movie was meant to replace RID 2015. People hated the fact that Optimus came back in that show, and yet in this movie, made for fans by fans, they are bringing back Optimus. Oh dear lord. Magnus uses a ground bridge to bring Smokescreen back, but you just made them drive all the way there after you said you couldn't use a space bridge. Also, I'm going off script here, but they keep saying ground bridge and not space bridge. Do the creators know the difference between a ground bridge and a space bridge? Bumblebee appears out of nowhere, and the other Autobots meet the Heralds. Bumblebee now uses his mask as a battle mask? Sure. A fight starts and Smokescreen flies into battle. Quite literally. Bumblebee defies the laws of gravity. Bumblebee and this bot do this. Scourge slices his sword and weirdly cuts to Galvatron. And I'm not going through this entire fight scene, it's way too long, so I'm just going to play this clip and move on. After Galvatron ragdolls Magnus into a wall, unfortunately not killing him and ending the movie, the Heralds find Unicron's spark that was trapped in Predacons Rising, a much better film. The Autobots use a... Hot Rod flirts with RC again.
Don't worry, I'll protect you.
A PNG of metal crush on the Autobots and...
Such wonderful curves wasted on an Autobot.
Is Onslaught an incel?
What a pity to waste such a pretty face. But orders are orders.
So anyways, after some stuff that I don't care about, Bruticus happens.
What in...
And the music just cuts off. Ratchet literally sees Primus's spark, and then this scene happens. Oh my god, the sound editing is awful.
By the Matrix.
Ratchet speaks to Primus to bring Optimus back. What the fuck?
And all that is yet to come.
What in Primus just happened?
Springer gets catapulted into a building.
Springer!
Smokescreen defies the laws of gravity.
Go! Relax, bro. I've got the... Oh, scrap!
Bruticus clips through the floor. The Herald's PNGs to Earth. Rothard flirts with RC. Middle of a battle, may I add.
You know, your optics spark when you're mad.
What?
The Heralds finally arrive. Bruticus stops fighting the Autobots to defeat the Heralds.
If we don't come together, we're doomed.
Then another awkward cut happens.
Awaits his resurrection.
Behold the greatest prime of all.
And now, for the worst thing I've ever seen. They revived Orbital Bacon. Optimus goes to Megatron for help. Okay. Also, how would Optimus know where Megatron is? Otrod flirts with RC. Even worse this time.
Let's double team them.
Thought you'd never ask.
Don't you ever focus?
What can I say? I like to focus on things that excite me.
Bumblebee somehow hides Unicron's case inside his alt mode.
Take it!
Scourge and Slipstream change sizes while fighting Bruticus. Slipstream realizes she's being distracted, so instead of doing anything about it, she's gonna talk so the kids watching this movie know she's being distracted. Bruticus gets defeated by 2 split screen players. 1 hour and 29 minutes into the movie, Optimus and Megatron finally come into play via... oh my god. The Combaticons form Bruticus. Again. RC doesn't seem to care that Prime is back. Me too, RC. Me too. Scourge deflects an entire crane with a sword. Sure, man. At this point, I give up understanding. Optimus whips out the Starsaber out of nowhere.
You are no Prime.
Yes, Galvatron. You're right. He is no Prime.
And mine alone to destroy. Get up, Prime.
Optimus has his minigun, even though it literally got thrown off the Nemesis in Transformers Prime. Ultra Magnus and Optimus both talk at the same time, with the same voice. The last time we see Galvatron in this movie is a PNG sliding up.
We will all need to defend our homes. We will need to make defensive preparations here, as well as on Cybertron, if your vision is correct.
Megatron. We once stood together.
Anyways, Optimus does a speech, and finally, this goddamn movie ends with a "oh goddamn it!" So now that we have the movie summary over, here are the cons. Now yes, Blender is hard to use and animation takes time and money, but there's a reason it's called animation. You have endless possibilities and yet you use the most stilted and thick feeling animation ever. The bots are clipping through themselves, arms are going at lightning speed or they're too slow, and then there's just movement happening for no reason. I mean, look at this clip of Onsor laughing.
Here for the big show.
It has no correlation. And the running animations, I'm assuming you used a track system to make them run while playing their run animation on top of it, but it just looks bad. You guys had 10 years to develop this. Now I know it was supposed to release in 2017 to 2018, but again, you had almost 7 extra years to polish it, or even get new voice actors, and yet you didn't. The story is trash and it cannot be defended. Bots say one thing and then in a few scenes contradict themselves. This was supposed to replace RID 2015 because of how bad that show was. I liked it. But you did the same mistakes, especially with Optimus. Optimus's second death in Transformers Prime had meaning, and you ruined it by having him back for what? So he could defeat the Heralds? Is that it? That was your reason? Also, there was just way too much going on in this movie. The reason people didn't like Age of Extinction, The Last Knight, or Revenge of the Fallen was because there was just too many characters and plot lines. In this film, you have the Heralds, Springer, Rodimus, the Combaticons, the Autobots, Ratchet bringing back Optimus, Megatron coming back, which doesn't make any sense because he renounced Decepticonism, the humans. There's just too much happening at once. And this movie really could have been a series. Make 23-minute episodes with better story and better animation. This would have helped you progress each episode instead of being stuck with the same animation for the film. The voice acting, yeah, the voice acting are great, especially one of them. Apart from maybe a Hot Rod and a few others, but the fact that both Galvatron, Onslaught, and especially Ultra Magnus and Optimus sound the same makes it hard to understand who's talking. Also, when characters are talking, don't have one fixed camera. As a new viewer, I don't know these characters' voices, so you need to focus on those characters when they are talking. Stop using PNGs. You are literally using 3D animation. Make your own explosions. Oh my lord, the editing is trash. The weird cuts and the music being too loud. The music cutting out randomly. The pacing. Remember, they had 10 years to fix all of this. This is post-production stuff. They should have had access to fixing these things. Okay, so surprisingly there are pros, and it's straight up just the designs. Now, I still don't get why the creator didn't just save himself money and use the fuller Cybertron Combaticon designs, especially considering they are part of the same continuity. But still, these designs are amazing. I can just feel the Transformers Prime in it, you know, and they are just also embody the characters so well. They could have used a little less glow on them. I don't know why they're so bright. But, you know, my favorites are definitely Onslaught, Galvatron, Cyclonus, Hot Rod, Springer. Honestly, just all of them. All of them are so good, and I cannot wait to see what they do with the Dinobots. Yes, I know I dissed the animation a lot in the cons part, but you guys need to realize I've been following this project for years, so I've seen what it used to look like, and those clips are still on YouTube. Heck, the entire movie was on YouTube years ago, just in parts. And here's what it used to look like. Yeah, what we have now just looks so much better. No, the animation itself didn't change for the better, but at least the bots and the lighting looked more appealing than what it did a few years back. In conclusion, this wasn't worth the wait. The stilted animation, the story, the behind the scenes drama, it's not good. But there's still beauty in what's been achieved. I don't know many people who have created fully CGI animations for Transformer films, aside from a few. And there's a way to learn and grow. I mean, I'm just hoping Prime Animations takes this criticism, you know, the real criticism to heart, as I want these other films to do better. Use that $8,000 you were given to hire better script writers, experiment with Blender animation, find new styles. Yes, we want Transformers Prime back, but in trying to recreate Transformers Prime one-to-one, it just falls flat on its head. Don't try to be someone else. Be your own boss. Do what you can achieve, and maybe you'll find success. By the way, this does not change how I feel about how Prime Animations handled the drama, both now and the way before the movie got posted. But that's been my review on Galvatrons Revenge. Now I'm gonna go watch real Transformers. I'll see you all later in the next video. Bye bye.